And welcome, viewers. I'm your host, Dan, aka smAsho. I'm just chilling here drinking some pineapple soda. I'll give you the recipe for it in a minute. Yeah, pineapple soda. It's good times. Now, I can't drink that ultra sweet stuff, so we'll give you the recipe for the pineapple soda. We'll talk about the grand conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn, or the Great Conjunction. Also, your comments will be featured. We'll put it all on the screen. We might talk news stories, we might not. It depends on how long things turn out. So, welcome to another edition of the Smash Lights, regular feature of the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. And again, we'll put your comments on the screen, so drop us a line, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. First of all, I'd recommend everybody check out our website, smAshomash.com. You can also get directed there from smAshomash.org, official website of our YouTube channel. And by the way, this is a YouTube live stream exclusive. You can also visit the links there. Our social media links can be found in the upper right. If you notice we haven't been tweeting, it's because I've been banned from tweeting, following a post about how I hate Star Wars and I wish the franchise would go out of existence. And I wish that Yoda, whether it's baby Yoda, Force Ghost Yoda, or middle-aged Yoda, would die. Also, check out our forum and our stores. So the one store features some pandemic-themed stuff and some apolitical stuff like the Mansa products, as well as the All Things Matter line. And we would invite you to Mansa. I forgot to model the shirt that I was wearing yesterday, but it was this one, the purple Mansa shirt. Make America not suck again, since it's up to you, not the government. Yes, yes, make America not suck again. One of the many mottos of the Smash News Network. The other line of products on Teespring features a bunch of cosmology-based products, such as the Condensed Matter Matters mask. Yes, condensed matter, it matters. Were you aware? Were you aware the sun is likely made of condensed matter and not gaseous plasma? Yes. Liquid metallic hydrogen is a single segment plasma, in that the nucleons are locked in place, but the electrons are free to flow around at will, making it a single segment plasma, nothing like the gaseous plasma in the solar corona. Condensed matter matters. Maybe check out our all over printed shirt. It's got this image of the sun with a lattice structure peeled away. Yes, condensed matter, it matters. And don't forget to enter the promo code smAsho on all orders from Teespring to save 10% through Christmas. Are you safe yet? Well, we hope you are. By the way, if you enjoy the music, make sure you check out soundclick.com/goldencatproductions. The song we played today was You, Me, Us. And most of the songs here have been charted. One of the favorites is Gem Cutter. Here's a clip. It's all available at soundclick.com/goldencatproductions. And if you want to see some older and weirder stuff, check out the SoundCloud page. It's all linked below the video. It's soundcloud.com. soundcloud.com/Daniel-Nigro-2. That's my name. Daniel Nigro, aka smAsho. And I'm not worried about it. I've been a public figure since 1999. Really, since 97. That's when I started bike racing as a cross-country mountain biker. So let's get me off the screen and get a visualization of the Great Conjunction, the Great Jupiter-Saturn Conjunction. There's me vanishing. And let's get rid of the test patterns. There we go. This is from timeanddate.com, and we'll show you exactly how to view the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction tomorrow evening So when it gets dark, when it first gets dark, you'll be able to see this extremely bright scenario going on. Look in your western sky. On the ecliptic, that's the path that the sun takes across the sky, to see the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. There it is on December 14th, and there's where you'll see it only a few degrees above the horizon. Let's hope you've got clear skies. So here's a diagram of the solar system. We always show this on the daily space weather videos. It's theplanetstoday.com, and you can see that there's a straight line being formed in between Saturn, Jupiter, and the Earth. No sort of conjunction between Jupiter, Saturn, and the Sun. That happened back in, I think it was May. And so here's what's going to be going on tomorrow. So now we're at in-the-sky.org, and I've made a little date slider here. And so here's the daytime, and this would be the sky over Allentown, Pennsylvania. Just put in your location to see how this figures out. Bring out this sidebar, set it to tomorrow, and just before sunset, you can see also Mercury will be in line with the Sun. And you can see Jupiter and Saturn are really showing up as just one object there already. And if you advance this to when it starts to get dark, there you can see it's starting to get dark there. And if you're in the Lehigh Valley, the Jupiter-Saturn Great Conjunction will set around 5 minutes till 7. So just before 7 p.m. 7 p.m. will be your last chance to see it. So hopefully we'll have clear skies as the sun sets, and there should be some light left in the sky when you're able to see that, because it's going to be very, very bright. And there is some indication that this same great conjunction, which has not happened for 800 years, was indeed the Star of David, the one that caused the wise men to go across the desert and find Jesus and bring him presents and so on. So here's this little animation courtesy timeanddate.com. And again, if you're located around where I am, you need to see it around 7 o'clock, before about 7 o'clock. By 7 o'clock, it will have set. So make sure you catch that. And let's bring up your comments here, and I'll reappear. And thanks for stopping by, Daz Brown. Hello to you too. Thanks for leaving a comment, Carl Wall. And welcome, Kalo Jan. Yeah, there will be no wise men following this star, because, Captain, sensors indicate no intelligent life on planet Earth. Just a bunch of complete COVIDiots, right, COVID? COVID. Am I right about the COVIDiots? Yeah, thanks for backing me up, COVID. COVID, am I in any danger from you? Yeah, I didn't think so. All right, do I gotta leave you there? I guess I'll just leave you there. Why not? All right, so let me just bring up some news stories here. We'll do a little news crawl for your viewing pleasure. I noticed there were some interesting articles once again here on Zero Hedge. ZeroHedge.com, an objective news source. Not to be confused with the fake news, the nonsense news, the leftist crap news. Actually, let me give you my recipe first for pineapple soda. Now, I find over-the-counter soda to be far too sweet. And so, COVID, you're cramping my style. I find regular over-the-counter soda to be too sweet. And so when we actually purchase soda, which is not really that common, I don't really drink very much soda, but when we do, since it's too sweet, it's nice and refreshing if you instead mix it with club soda. So I like to also add some lemon juice to mine. I've got lemon juice blend in there. It's about an ounce of lemon juice. It's about 10 ounces of pineapple crush and a full can of club soda. That's the way to do it. It's lovely, effervescent, and refreshing. Not so sweet and syrupy like regular old soda. I noticed decades ago that I liked slightly watered down soda. If you go to a fountain at a fast food, if you're actually able to enter a fast food place, oftentimes they have club soda as a little switch on the side of something like the ginger ale or the Sprite. You can press that down and then you'll get the plain club soda. Good times. So there are a bunch of interesting stories on Zero Hedge, such as the fact that the last 2 consulates in Russia are being closed by the U.S. Not a good sign in geopolitical relations. Although Russia is a teddy bear in the same way that China is a paper tiger. You shouldn't be scared of it. It's not scary in the slightest. What else do we have here? So here's another story about radio signals from outside the solar system. And we talked about this in the Daily Space Weather. Perhaps it's a good time to talk about it again. We present one of the first hints of detecting an exoplanet in the radio realm. Oh, that's not the story. Well, that's one of the stories we talked about. This is a hot Jupiter. So, not really that surprising that the magnetosphere of a Jupiter-like massive planet, especially one very close to its parent star, is able to emit radio frequency, as these planets have powerful magnetospheres. So not really that exciting. Not as exciting as the radio signal from Proxima Centauri. We'll just leave that there and move on here. Have you heard about Biden having talks? Biden is seeking to have talks with Venezuela's President Maduro, while the, I guess, more popular Juan Guaido has been shut out. Sounds like somebody supports communism to me. I don't know. What say you? And what do you think of the U.S. election, folks? Have you noticed that your sense of political efficacy has dropped to even lower levels than it was previously at? I certainly have. Let's put your comments back up on the screen here. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in. And if there's something you'd like us to talk about, let us know. We will be more than happy. And thanks for stopping by, Chase Stevenson. Merry Christmas. Merty Christmas, Merry Christmas, whatever. It's all good. Yes, Captain, sensors indicate a massive amount of fail and covidiocy on planet Earth. Ah, yes. The corn syrup is a real COVID attractor. I'm not so sure about that. In any case. Yeah, sugar's not good for you in any case, folks. But Kahlo Jan says Biden having talks with anyone is a scary thing. By the way, I think it's great that Joe Biden is able to nearly put together a coherent sentence. Almost. He's almost able to do so. You know what's crazy about this clip here is that we actually watched this clip live when Obama said, if we're supposed to listen to a bunch of okey doke, because Obama cannot compose a coherent sentence off teleprompter. He's America's finest reader. And apparently people think that's nuanced to not be able to compose a coherent sentence. I don't know what the problem is. We actually watched this clip as it happened, and I actually took a video of this and put it on the Instagram feed. So it was quite amazing. I mean, I couldn't believe it. That's a lot of ifs. That's a lot of ifs, Barack. Man, what a set of coattails on that guy. He's got some delayed coattails. Carl says he's waiting for the frost to burn off. He has to trim trees. By the way, maybe use that pecan wood as a smoking agent. Anyway, yeah, I've heard that pecan wood is one of the best woods to smoke with. So maybe try that out if you're into cooking meats over wood fires. Maybe consider starting that wood fire with that pecan wood. I've heard pecan works to actually tenderize the meat, which is pretty interesting. All right, let's see what other stories we have here. Trump blasts media claims of Russia. Oh, and interesting story here about a University of Penn ethicist. This ethicist at University of Penn has stated that old people shouldn't get the first vaccines because they're too white. Society is structured in such a way to enable white people to live longer than others. An interesting stance. And the guy's white, by the way. Maybe he doesn't have any old relatives. Let's see if I can get an exact quote. Old populations are whiter, says Dr. Harold Smith. There he is. It's Dr. Harold Smith. Old populations are whiter. Society is structured in a way that enables them to live longer. Instead of giving additional health benefits to those who already had more of them, we can start to level the playing field a bit. I guess by killing off old white people and encouraging non-white people to live longer because reasons? Sounds a bit like insanity. By the way, if you're wondering if I'll be getting a vaccine, the answer is no. Now, you probably can't see it very well, but I've got a rash all over my neck and my face and my forehead and around my ears from wearing ear loop masks for several months at work. Not sure when this is going to go away, if it's ever going to go away. Maybe I'll just have to live the rest of my life with a rash on my face. I haven't even worn one of these masks for like 6 weeks now. But in any case, I've already demonstrated a sensitivity to heavy metals. I'm extremely allergic to nickel. If I try to wear cheap jewelry, it will cause me to break out. Now, nickel's toxic to everybody. It's one of the most toxic metals in the world. But most people are able to wear a cheap watch, for example. Now, I didn't realize this until I pierced my ear when I was about 17. And I noticed that the surgical steel post was causing my ear to break out. I thought it was just an infection, but indeed it was because of the nickel. So, but this rash is most likely caused from having plastics on my face. So the kind of mask that I was wearing, the ear loops are composed of elastic wrapped in polyester, and the filter part, which is a triple layer filter, 2 more coarse layers and a very, very fine layer on the inside of the mask, that's all made of polypropylene. So I believe I've developed some sort of an adverse reaction or an allergy to plastics. And the fact that I haven't worn a mask for like 6 weeks and still seem to exhibit this rash, which doesn't seem to go away, possible indication that I've got plastics in my lungs. So apparently there's a bunch of textile flock material that I was inhaling the whole time. And I don't know what the implications on all of mankind will be for this. I don't know if other people are going to develop plastics sensitivities also. I don't know how long it's going to take for the plastics to get back out of my lungs, or if it's going to cause some kind of extended chronic health condition. I'm certainly hoping not, obviously. Since then, I've started wearing a face shield at work, which is like a plastic shield that you'd see a lumberjack wearing instead of those ear loop masks. And I've also bought some different type of cloth masks. And I've owned balaclavas for years, so I really didn't need to buy anything, but just wanted to have a couple backups. So, of course, I wear masks when I go in public because I'm in Pennsylvania, the fascist state ruled by fascist tyrant Governor Tom Wolf, who takes health advice from former NCAA linebacker, transgender physician general Dr. Rachel Levine. Let's see what else we've got. This is a great story here. You may want to read this one, share it on your social media. I think I shared this one on Facebook this morning. It's entitled, "The Populist American Powder Keg is Primed, but Will It Be Lit?" Which brings up an important point, a very important point. The fact that the year 2020, as I forecasted, has been a year of clarity. Did you notice? Did you notice it's been a year of clarity? Have you noticed certain things abundantly clear? Well, I certainly have. And here at the Smash News Network, part of our mission for the year 2021 is to make sure that it's a year of accountability. Because certain entities need to be held accountable for destroying civilization throughout the year 2020. Now, last year in 2019, when I forecasted a year of clarity in 2020, it was largely just numerological. In other words, 2020, like 2020 vision. And this is what happens when you forecast the future, folks. Sometimes you're right, but not in the way you intended. So be careful when you break out the crystal ball. Now, we've got a playlist on YouTube called Scryin' with Smash. And here's my crystal ball. Yeah, it's a real crystal ball, folks. I'm not kidding. I usually keep a pair of gloves on top of it because I only want to forecast the future when I want to forecast the future. I don't want to accidentally gaze into the crystal ball and forecast the future when I wasn't intending to. So in any case, last year I forecasted that 2020 would be a year of clarity. Have you noticed a little bit of clarity? Have you noticed where the problems are coming from? Has your media failed? Has your state government failed? Has your federal government failed? Has big tech failed? Have corporations failed? Have individual citizens failed to resist tyranny? Yeah. A couple failures, I think, may have happened in the year 2020. What say you? Leave us a comment. Let us know. Let us know if you've seen some failures. And so, following a year of clarity, I didn't need to look into my crystal ball to note that 2021 shall be a year of accountability. Yes, it's all too true. And so, in making America not suck again, or making Australia not suck again, I know we've got several viewers from Munda, or making Europe, or making wherever not suck again. Like making America not suck again, it's up to you. It's up to you, the viewer. The government's not going to do it for you. So, just putting it out there, folks. If you just keep succumbing to tyranny, tyranny is going to continue to do things that are utterly unconstitutional. So just remember that. You have to take baby steps, folks. You have to take baby steps. I mean, it's only a matter of time before I go out someplace and I decide to not wear a mask, and just to see what happens. Just to see what happens. And I've had it happen a few times, actually. For instance, when I took Granddad, who's 92, to have his photo ID photograph taken, I completely forgot to wear a mask. He completely forgot to wear a mask. We went into the photo licensing center, and we were getting weird looks, and I didn't even realize why. I just completely forgot. It wasn't even on purpose. Nobody said a word about it. So it's pretty interesting. And again, it's not surprising to see the government try to do tyrannical things. What's surprising is to see individual citizens try to enforce unconstitutional rules. And you know, there is a glimmer of hope, folks. There is a glimmer of hope, and the glimmer of hope is certain agencies like local sheriffs refusing to uphold certain ridiculous and tyrannical rules. So let's just put this article on the screen here. The populist American powder keg is primed, but will it be lit? And what will happen if it is lit? So, if you notice a breakdown of all the institutions, whether it's voting efficacy, whether it's the government, whether it's police and military entities not upholding their oath to defend the U.S. Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic, remember that? Whether it's the breakdown of science itself. By the way, have you noticed some issues going on with the reporting of COVID statistics? Well, let's just say there are issues, lots and lots of issues. And here at the Smash News Network, we're noticing that there are more issues than Marvel Comics has printed in the last 50 years. And so we would like to solve some of them, assist solving some of them, and maybe, prevent future disasters from happening. Which brings me to our mission. If you've never heard of our mission, head to smAsho.com/forum. And you can post there, by the way. It's completely free at this point. Let's talk about our mission. So, if you head to smAsho.com/forum/mission, you'll be able to read all about it. Let me put it on screen along with your chats. Again, thanks everybody for leaving comments. Daz and Carl and Kalo Jan and Clay and Marion and Jim G and Mr. Keebler. And let me just read those comments also here. I can't read and talk at the same time. After that, I'll tell you about the mission. And this is why we're seeking to increase our funding, because we can't afford to accomplish our mission. So please visit the links below the video, become a patron, send us a one-time PayPal donation, or perhaps give Smash staff a raise in either of those ways, or by, purchasing some Teespring products. He's going to smoke some meat. Yes. Yes. Dude, I wish I had some pecan wood. Drop me a line. I'll pay the shipping. I'll pay the shipping if you're going to ship me some pecan. Carl Wall says the ice storm at end of October broke a large limb and fell on the electric service to the house. That's no good. Be careful, man. Mr. Keebler says Future built it himself. Well done. So let's talk about the mission, the Smash-O-Mash mission. And we started actually putting out content back in 2016. So just to give you a little bit of background, the name Smash-O-Mash was created in 1999 when I started multiplayer online gaming. And I got a bit of a reputation in the world of FPS gaming in a couple different games. and I've been an administrator for game servers and gaming message boards for a long time, for, let's see, about 15 years. I've also been the scrim leader of multiple competitive online gaming teams. And anyway, that's where the name came from. And so I stuck with it because I already had a little bit of a following in the gaming community. So what happened was in 2016, I noticed some very scary issues, whether it was the broad-ranging support of terrible political candidates like Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, or if it was the media bias, not only of CNN and other mainstream media, but also Fox News. I stopped watching Fox News in 2016 because Fox News became a Trump sycophant, and that's not news, that's politics. And I noticed the bias. I noticed the electioneering process of Google, Facebook, and Twitter. And so I created an Instagram page entitled smAsho and started to get a tiny, tiny following, which barely has any traction even to this day. I mean, we reached 1,700 subscribers yesterday, by the way, thanks to our new subscribers on YouTube. And now we're back below 1,700 subscribers, which is no surprise. But I started shouting from the rooftops, "Hey, everybody! There are problems with certain organizations, especially one in particular. If you've noticed, there are severe problems." Now, Tulsi Gabbard actually sued a certain entity, Google, for electioneering. And I'm not exactly sure what happened with that. I think the case was settled. And frankly, if they sent me a six-figure check, I would stop explaining how Google is a scam also. But until and unless that happens, I will keep saying it until we're at least paid for our efforts and not shadow banned. So in any case, that's when I started shouting from the rooftops about the obvious bias, because I was horrified about the prospects of the next election, and nobody really listened 4 years ago. So at least we've gained a little bit of traction now. And, the reason that we started doing the daily space weather videos is because we noticed that nobody was able to forecast solar activity. And so, since I realized I was able to forecast solar activity, I started making the content because, let's just say there are issues with the understanding of the physics when it comes to the sun, the Earth's geomagnetic field, and all sorts of aspects of astronomy and cosmology. So that's sort of in a nutshell what happened. And that caused us to start the long, arduous process of creating a nonprofit agency. smAshomash.org is sort of the first groundbreaking of that process. We are not yet a nonprofit organization. We haven't filed an application for that or anything yet because, frankly, we don't have the funding for it. And while I know it's a bit of a pain to do it in Pennsylvania, we may file out of Florida to bypass some of that, because I know a great accountant down there. Shout out to Mothra if you're watching the content. Cheers. So the mission is, number one, to assist, study, and report on the ongoing formation of a unified theory of physics. The implications to human technology would be vast if it was realized that the sun is made of liquid metallic hydrogen, not some kind of gaseous plasma with a nuclear fusion dynamo inside of it. And by the way, if you don't need a supernoval explosion to create heavy elements, that completely changes the way solar systems are formed in the first place. It rewrites geology as well as the rest of the physical sciences in many ways. Part of the reason why we study cosmology and the sun. Number two, to raise the awareness of the general public of the relationship between space weather and Earth effects. All your weather comes from space, more or less. But then again, the planet comes from space too. Let's not draw too many lines. 3, to connect and consult with media organizations to multiply our reach, or occasionally add to our reach, as we see no multiplicative effects. But in any case, thanks again to our new subscribers. 4, to demonstrate cutting-edge proof of concept solutions to problems. And we've got tomatoes growing indoors right now. It's a very small proof of concept process, but Maybe we'll sprout some bean plants and start growing those also. By the way, did you know that your Goya dried beans may be perfectly viable seeds? And that you could actually probably grow bean plants inside over the winter? Try it out. Buy one small grow light and try growing something indoors over the winter. The strain of tomatoes that we're now growing inside doesn't even want to be outside. So thanks again for leaving comments, folks. There are your comments. I'll scroll down through all of them on the screen so that they appear on the screen. Or I'll try to. There we go. Yeah, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy whatever, Happy Holidays. And there are your comments. Back to the mission here. Number 5, to publish scientific papers in a multidisciplinary manner, because multidisciplinary is the way of the future, folks. And if you are too specialized, you may be so tied into a box that you may not be able to understand the rest of the sciences. This is part of the reason why Dr. Pierre-Marie Robitaille is so brilliant, because he has a PhD in chemistry as well as in I think he's a radiologist. And so people think that that doesn't qualify him to look at a radio telescope image. But ultimately, emission spectra are emission spectra. And that's why we have the word spectroscopy on the list of multidisciplinary sciences. And it's not limited to those sciences. It's literally all of the sciences. I don't think outside the box. I don't recognize a box as existent. Number 6, to assist mankind by advancing the study of predictive phenomenon in order to optimize value and reduce risk and liability and save lives and resources and adapt no matter what the adversity is. Yes, I don't care if it's a solar nova or if it's World War VI or if it's people being scared and spooked and doing stupid things because of not so relevant factors. And last but not least, and number 7 is super important, it's to not be ossified in our beliefs and to treat those who are with love, respect, and inclusion to the scientific discussion. Because just because you're wrong about whatever science you're doing doesn't mean you have to be fired, doesn't mean your college has to go out of business, it doesn't mean the place has to be burned to the ground. So again, visit our links below the video and support the channel. Consider becoming a patron, patreon.com/smashomash, so we can afford more fire extinguishers. Because putting out fires that way is pretty taxing. We create the videos at massive personal risk and expense. So thanks again to our viewers. And I'm going to go back to do another bit of a news crawl here to see if there are any other interesting stories. What do you think about the American populist powder keg? Will it be lit? And if so, what will light it? Will it be because of economic strife? Will it be because of lack of confidence of the political system? Will it be because of COVID? Or will it be because of just basic everyday tyranny? What do you think will happen? Let us know in the comments. Do you think the Supreme Court has failed to pick up cases about election fraud and actually investigate them? Let us know about that. Another institution that has lost confidence. So people like me are stoked about Amy Coney Barrett, as she is a legit constitutional scholar and answers questions about the Constitution like a bodily function. I mean, what a great replacement of ultra-leftist Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg with a constitutional scholar such as Amy Coney Barrett. And so no matter what happens, the legacy of Donald Trump can't be that bad, as he's at least appointed 2 conservatives of the 3 that he's appointed to the Supreme Court. Thank goodness for that. So whatever you say about Trump, whether you like him, you hate him, you're neutral about him, I try to be objective, period. So I'm not a sycophant for any politician. And for all of you dum-dums on Facebook and other places who think that I watch Fox News or that I'm some kind of Trumpist or whatever the new term is for Donald Trump sycophants, not the case. By the way, I've noticed some oddities happening once again. I've heard that there's been an argument between the Pentagon and the Biden administration, which has caused the Pentagon to stop giving Joe Biden security briefings. Yeah, it's not because he's not really president-elect, folks. It's because of scheduling. So they just argued and bickered about how to adjust their schedule for the holidays or something like that, and that's caused them to stop getting security briefings. But I also do find it interesting that disgusting, putrid, sickening, crooked cop Kamala Harris has not yet resigned her Senate seat. What's going on with that? Leave us a comment if you have a theory about that. How come Kamala has not resigned her Senate seat? Seems like it's getting a little bit late. By the way, have you noticed how weak the dollar has been? The dollar index was below 90 last I looked. I'm not going to go to CNBC today, but there's a lot of money printing. So I hear leftists on Facebook saying things like, oh great, we're only getting $600 of printed inflated money now, instead of $1,200 or $12,000 or $12 million or whatever they wanted the government to print and give them, because those are the people who understand absolutely nothing about economics. So expect more inflation coming. It's part of the reason why we're changing our Patreon tiers at the end of the month. We're starting out the new year with only $3 and up contributions available to be a patron. Please upgrade if you're at the $1 or $2 tier before New Year's. And even if you don't want to pay us anything, consider becoming a patron, because we do put up public posts. In April, we'll do another month of only public posts on Patreon to help attract more patrons and increase the likelihood that our videos will remain free and publicly visible, and so on. So leave us a comment if there's anything else you'd like us to talk about. I'm going to continue my news crawl here, so just bear with me. Cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, has reached all-time highs. And a lot of people think that cryptocurrency is a solution to weakness in the US dollar, and it certainly is in terms of a speculative investment. Is cryptocurrency money? The answer is no. It's too volatile, and it's too difficult to exchange cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is more like a stock than it is like money. Money has to have intrinsic value, and don't get money and currency confused. A Federal Reserve note, like a dollar, is not money. Gold and silver are money. Cryptocurrency and stocks and bonds are not money, and neither are dollars. Those are currency and speculative investments. So the concern is hyperinflation of the US dollar. Let's hope we don't see that, as I'd prefer not to have to bring a wheelbarrow of dollars to go buy a dozen eggs at the grocery store. Not something I'd like to see happen. And I think it's a little bit unlikely. However, the U.S. government continues spending. So the rate of spending, which started out in the George Bush era, has just done nothing but accelerate. So George W. Bush spent the most money anybody's ever spent. And that acceleration rate with this tangential upward curve has just increased. So the rate of acceleration of U.S. government spending started out at this crazy acceleratory rate with George W. Bush. It continued under Barack Obama, and it continued under Donald Trump. So, that's the problem. That's the main beef that I have with Donald Trump. As the 2016 election for me was all about fiscal conservatism. Yes, fiscal conservatism. And Donald Trump is not a fiscal conservative by any stretch of the imagination. He says things that demonstrate that he doesn't understand macroeconomics or inflation. And look, he's a real estate mogul. He has certain reasons for wanting interest rates to be where they are. You can't really blame them for that. One of the big benefits that Trump sort of promised in the days of the campaign was that he would eliminate property taxes. So that's an obvious reason for a real estate mogul. It's reasonable for a real estate mogul to want no property taxes for obvious reasons. But what about you? Do you own real estate? Are you currently renting a property that you've already paid off because of property taxes? Are you paying thousands and thousands of dollars per year to an utterly ineffective municipality under fear of losing your property entirely because of a tax lien? So that would be a great piece of reform if property taxes were gone. I think everybody would also agree on the income taxes, but I'm not going to get into that. I'll save that for a Peter Schiff episode. So yeah, money printing is a problem, folks. Inflation, one of the dollar itself, another institution that's been destroyed clearly, and especially in the year 2020, but also in the past 15 years or so. Somebody crashed a boat at Mauritius, blaming cell reception. I guess the captain decided to move the boat and ran it aground. Great idea there. Well done. Can you hear me now? California reports record COVID cases and deaths despite strictest lockdown. So what's this COVID? You don't care about masks? Masks are not effective in preventing the transmission of you? There are a lot of COVIDiots? All right, get out of... Jeez. So irritating. So irritating. COVID. Really starting to annoy me. I'm really getting irked about this COVID. I mean, please. China is expecting to vaccinate 50 million people before Lunar New Year. And if you're wondering when Lunar New Year is, so am I. Lunar New Year, which happens in February, if you were wondering. Chinese health officials have discussed rolling out vaccinations in 2 batches before January 15th and February 5th in a conference call earlier. Wow, there are a whole bunch of vaccines in the race right now. Check it out. Who has the most agreements to receive potential COVID vaccines? Yowzers. AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Novavax, Gamaleya, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Sinovac, CanSino, Sinopharm, and Bharat Biotech. Yowzers. That's a lot of vaccines. And I won't be taking any of them because of my sensitivity to heavy metals and to plastics. Sorry. Now, in my defense, my immune system is a bit more sophisticated than anybody's vaccine. It's taken at least millions, if not billions of years to get as sophisticated as it is. And since I'm very cognizant of my nutrition, I don't think there's very likely chance of my even developing a symptom if I caught COVID. And by the way, I think I caught COVID back in April, and I won't get into it, but because I don't want to start another argument about viruses, and because getting in arguments with people on the internet about viruses is completely unproductive. Chances are they don't know anything about infectious diseases. I sort of started studying them in great depth in the late 90s because I used to get strep throat all the time. And yeah, it's another thing that's crystal clear in the year 2020. People are willing to argue with you till their dying breath without knowing anything about what they're arguing. So it's just not productive. It's a complete waste of time. And part of the reason why you see such long and detailed comments on my social media is because I'm very good at typing. I'm very good at typing. If it took me really long to type, I would not even engage. Number 1, I order you to take a number 2. Engage. 2020, the year we let ourselves be infantilized and dehumanized. Do you now view every human being as a scary, spooky viral vector? Well, that's a ridiculous thing. That's absolutely ridiculous, because asymptomatic people aren't dangerous. So let me just reiterate that. Asymptomatic people aren't dangerous, should not be mandated to be locked down and quarantined in any way, should not be mandated to wear a mask, because asymptomatic people aren't dangerous. There's no evidence that asymptomatic people can even transfer the virus. While it is possible, if an asymptomatic person transfers a tiny amount of viral load to you, in all likelihood, your immune system will just beat up the virus, and now you'll be immune. So, and this reminds me of when idiot, moron reporters were asking, what's her name? Kayleigh McEnany, if Trump was going to take the vaccine to demonstrate that it's not dangerous. What kind of an idiotic question is that? Think about how stupid this is. The reporters asked Kayleigh McEnany if Donald Trump, a guy who already had and recovered from COVID-19, will take the vaccine. Why the hell would you take the vaccine when you've already recovered from it? That would mean you already have natural immunity, last I checked. I mean, so like that's just a prime example of how absolutely idiotic, brain dead, and agenda having the media is. It's absolutely pathetic. So, I mean, I look at the whole thing as a wonderful opportunity to show things like leadership, actual science, having a brain, having common sense, and actually helping people instead of trying to advance some sort of insane, corporatist, plutocratic agenda where we say, oh no, government, please take me by the hand. Please take me by the hand and lead me around through life because I'm too stupid to understand what a virus is. It's putrid. So it's about time to close this thing out here, folks. I don't want it to be much longer than an hour. And we're already approaching the 1 hour mark. Let's just see. I'm going to put your comments back on the screen here in a minute. I just want to put some of my own graphics up because I don't want to step on any toes except the ones that deserve to be stepped on. And those, I want to just stomp on them and smash those toes. Possibly even mash those toes. Did you know a guy in Ireland was sentenced to 2 months in prison for refusing to wear a face mask? By the way, if everybody in the whole country simultaneously refused to wear a face mask, I find it unlikely for anything to happen. They can't prosecute everybody, folks. It's just not feasible. So yeah, visit our websites, visit our links. Here are your comments. I'm going to scroll down. Let me blow that up a little bit. There we go. There's some larger fonts for you. smAshomash.com. Visit our links, etc. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure you get your vitamin D, your zinc, your vitamin C. Don't forget to take calcium with your vitamin D because vitamin D can deplete your bones and cause osteoporosis if you don't have enough calcium. And maybe consider taking other supplements too, like L-lysine, the amino acid responsible for the production of hormones, enzymes, and antibodies. Yes, L-lysine, the essential amino acid that your body cannot produce itself. And if you don't consume enough fresh vegetables, meats, fish, cheese, etc., you may not be getting enough L-lysine. And for obvious reasons, the production of hormones, enzymes, and antibodies is, shall we say, important. Things are going to be getting better because 2021 is going to be a year of accountability, and it's up to you to make America not suck again. By the way, don't take too much iron. Levels of iron toxicity are very easy to achieve and have very unhealthy effects. Do not develop iron toxicity. I have not heard of Initiative Q. Jim G says he doesn't like money that requires electricity, which is a great point. Another reason why cryptocurrency is not money. And don't go chasing a tiger, folks. When it comes to investing, what you want to do is buy low and sell high. So maybe you purchased silver when it was less than $12 per ounce, a thing we reported on, and now you've doubled your money because you bought silver when we told you to. Oh no, COVID mutated and we have to be scared and spooked again. Sorry, not going to happen. Anyway, thanks again, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Share with your friends and foes, science noobs and science pros. We might even come back with more content today here at the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. We're going to leave you with the full song here, You, Me, Us from 2009. And if you want to go listen to that at full spectrum volume, etc., you can stream it at soundclick.com/goldencatproductions. Links below the video to that. And you can even add it to your MP3 collection for, I think, $1 or $1.25 or something like that. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. the Vanishing smAsho Mash. And we'll see you next time here at the Smash News Network.